Hi friends, thank you for joining me today as I inform you about the necessary steps to prepare, to weather, and to survive a Florida hurricane. I appreciate the three of you joining me. Layla, my cousins, Bill and Nancy. I appreciate your time and attention. If you're joining through Zoom, just raise your hand if you have something to say. And Layla, if you have a question or concern or something to respond to, I'll select you from the audience. We're going to talk today about preparing for a hurricane and some of the most important parts in preparation and then the post-preparation as well. So how to deal with the storm after it passes by. A staggering number of people have been killed or displaced, which is just as important, by hurricanes in Florida since the 1950s. Now, we've all seen weathermen on TV with their hats blowing off and wading in the puddles outside their hotel rooms. If you'll take a look, this is not what a hurricane actually looks like in the Florida Peninsula. This is what a hurricane looks like in the Florida Peninsula. It's very dark, it's very black, and it's very scary. After the weathermen go inside, they don't really show what they're experiencing in the glass breakage and high winds and sounds. The prep is more than just being brave during the storm. It's having a plan and executing it as calmly as possible. I know it's easier said than done. I've experienced tens of hurricanes, from Category 1 storms to several Category 4 and 5 storms, including the famous 2004 storm that rocked the entire state and displaced my age group for about a month out of school. In addition to experiencing them as a civilian, I've worked several hurricanes as a firefighter and have seen the aftermath and some of the most common injuries and fears that people have after they experience a storm. My concern and my motivation for this speech was out-of-towners and young adults might be learning about how to prep instead of just following their family's rules or plan, and how to make one on your own. The fall season is very common for people to come to Florida and they get complacent and they think it'll be sunshine and beach weather, when fall is actually the most dangerous risk for hurricanes up until November. Complacency is a big part of improper hurricane prep, such as not having plywood available or having plywood for your windows and not knowing how to install it. It doesn't start days and hours before the storm, it starts weeks before the storm. As you gather supplies, do you have enough water? Do you have enough food? And that's not just a guess. There is an idea of how to prepare for it. It's not just preparing inside your house, it's outside too. Like I said, Home Depot and Lowe's are going to sell out quick as soon as those storms start showing up on the news and Weather Channel. It's time to already have your plywood, half-inch minimum, because as branches and other pieces of plywood and grill parts and the debris that people don't clean up in their neighborhood start flying around, you want to have at least a half-inch of ply on your doors and your windows. Flashlights are a big one too. You don't need that to get to your cooler during the storm. You need that to signal emergency workers or to find your way, when your roof blows off or when there's a real emergency structurally in your house. How are you going to get in the dark to your neighbor's house or to where you have your planned emergency evacuation area? How are you going to see it and get there? So it's not just to go down your hallway or to find your way into your bedroom when your power goes out. Having plywood and having batteries and having food is useless if you don't have the know-how on how much to have and how to use them. So over the years, I've recommended at least 1 gallon per day per person, not just for drinking, but for sanitation and for cleaning as well. So I've experienced storms when the water pipes go down and you may have batteries and you may have food, but you can't flush your toilet. So at least 1 gallon per day for drinking per person and 1 for sanitation, such as putting it in the back of your toilet so you can still flush. When the storm knocks out power, will you still be able to get to your food? So if you have fresh water or if you have fresh cans or to-go meals and your refrigerator doesn't work, it's probably going to spoil. So non-perishable food in cans, eating out of a can was something I was not accustomed to until I lost power for 10 days during a hurricane. It's actually not bad. Green beans and corn out of a can. It's actually pretty good. Water and food will sell out. When people hear there's a storm coming by, the wood, the batteries, the light bulbs, all that is going to go fast. So it's better to have some on your back porch, or there aren't many basements in Florida like there are here in Carolina, but in your garage, just a stockpile of it. When the storm is over, the danger is not. I responded to a lot of calls that are improper fueling of generators, or concerned neighbors who want to get out there and trim trees or trim trunks, and they improperly use their chainsaw, or somebody gets hurt. So as soon as the storm passes over, the danger is not over. Some of the danger is just beginning. Some of the common injuries are no smoking during refilling generators, using the right gas, and not running the generator too closely to your house, especially if it has vinyl siding on it. That can catch fire very quickly. So as you can see, there's more to think about for storm prep than just, do I have enough water? Do I have enough sandbags? It's external and it's internal, not just your house, but your mind as well. It's going to be dark, it's going to be loud, but if you're prepared, it won't be as scary. Preparation will take days and weeks, not just hours. So it's better to be prepared ahead of time and to think the storm is coming before it really actually is and the warning is issued. Don't get caught up unprepared for the storm. And the danger is not over when the storm is over. It's part of the most critical part. Thanks for joining me.